And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Horizen Weekly Insider number 95. Today is July the 12th, 2021. Thanks for joining us every week here on our live update via Discord and YouTube. And please be aware that this call is being recorded right now, so you can check our updates later today in our Horizon podcast as well as in YouTube. Also, please remember to be ask your questions on Menti while this call is happening so the team can answer them at the end. So without further ado, I'll pass the word now to Alberto Garofalo to give us the engineering updates. Alberto, please, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Angie. Okay, so as usual, let's start from Zendu, where during the last week we have conducted a lot of the integration activities between mainchain and sidechain. And among the several things, we created an updated branch where the final code reviews can take place. We have already done a large part of the code reviews, not just on Zendu, but also on the Rust part. And last week, in fact, we were able to review, approve and merge a total of 10 different pull requests. In parallel of that, we are continuing to work on the audit results. As you know, currently we have two audits, one for the Zendu part and the other one for GingerLib. And now we can announce that all the audit activities except GingerLib are finished. A total of 5 different things were highlighted in the overall, auditing, and we are actively working on them to address them. And currently we are taking care of the last 2. And moreover, we are also progressing with the infrastructure related activities in order to create the parallel testnet where all the code will be deployed. But this is probably going to be covered later, maybe by Chronic. Okay, now let's switch to the proving system, where also the proving system code is being audited by another third-party company. And we are currently addressing the feedback provided. For about 80% of the things that were highlighted, we already have a solution ready for review, so already developed and just ready for them to look at it and assure that everything has been fixed. And the rest is getting worked during these days. As mentioned before, during last week, we also reviewed the changes on the Rust side, and in particular in the serialization interfaces changes. Then for what regard the next delivery, which mainly interests in the SDK, the circuits, and the proving system, for what regard the proving part, this week we're going to carry out 2 different workshops. On one side, we're going to have multiple sessions about the proving system next tasks, and here I mean the Darling part, Darling proving part. And on the other side, we are planning a workshop to detail and organize the SDK and secrets next activities, and in particular about the interaction between the SDK, so how the SDK has to be changed, and for interact with the secrets and feed the secrets with all the witnesses that are necessary to generate the proofs and make it in a way that can be extendable. So this is, a very challenging part, also in terms of design, because there are a lot of interaction. There will be a lot of interaction between these 2 components, and so these workshops are key to structure it in a way that it will be easy to be customized. Okay, last but not least, our proving system white paper is finally out. Its title is Darling, a proof carrying data scheme based on Marlin, and is available to everybody. So we will post the link in the chat, so if you're interested into it, please feel free to check it out and let us know what you think about the proving system. And all for today. Back to you, Angie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alberto, for the great updates. Let's continue with Kaspars to provide us the BD updates.
Thank you, Angie, and hi, everyone. So on these updates, I always talk about the sidechain partners that the BD team has reached out to and signed MOUs with. Most often, we cannot give many details about these deals because they're very sensitive and confidential. And when we sign the MOUs, we have to hand the information over to the marketing teams to coordinate and work on joint announcements and PRs. And often these deals, the signing of the MOUs and coordinating the joint announcements can take weeks and even months. Nevertheless, I'm excited to say that we had a good luck last week and we signed 2 new impressive MOUs. One is with an enterprise fintech company, and the other one is with a project that is building the data layer for Web 3.0. And really, I'm hoping our community will be able to hear about these from the marketing team in the next quarter. So really excited. That's it from the BD team today. Thank you, and back to you, Angie.
Thank you so much, Caspers. Next, we have Lucy for the marketing updates.
Hello, everyone. Happy July. So the Q2 report was released last week. If you haven't read it, please check it out. It's published on horizen.io/news. Just to highlight our overall social media community growth last quarter was 16.02%, with the biggest growth from Twitter with over 21% follower increase. And we received 466 applications for the ambassador program, and we now have 20 ambassadors. I think Erica will share more updates about the ambassador program later on. And then our team grew as well. We welcomed 5 new team members, 2 in marketing team, 2 in the product team, and 1 in engineering team. So we are still hiring. Please check our job page on both horizen.io and horizenlabs.io for open positions. We also issued 1 new white paper, added 17 new integrations and exchange listings, had 14 interviews and AMA, and we had over 25,000 wallet downloads. So, very, very successful quarter for a full report of our achievements and the performance last quarter. Please check it out, the report. Rob had an interview with Crypto Coin Show, and the interview is now available on YouTube. So in the interview, Rob covered how our technology revolutionized some of the traditional industries, including our latest updates with our partner Celsius Network, and then the proof of reserve blockchain ZK audit. Something that we're actually going to release this week. And if you want to have some early insights, you should check out the interview. You can find the interview on our social media channels. Casper's just mentioned earlier about some new MOUs. I think I haven't heard some of them, so really excited to receive them. So this month we are focusing on several other major partnership and product announcements. So July is a very, very busy month for us, full of exciting news and activities. And as we are getting closer and closer to the Zendoo mainnet launch, onboarding more and more new partnerships and releasing new products, we're just ramping up all across, the boards. So I'm feeling super pumped, and then I hope you are feeling the same way as well. So please make sure that you stay tuned for our updates, and if you want to take a step further and join the fun and contribute to some of our campaigns, the best way is to join our ambassador program. And Erica is the person to talk to, and I'm sure, and I think she has some updates for us about the ambassador program. Erica?
Hey everyone, happy Monday. So this week we're excited to welcome 3 new ambassadors to our program. Our new ambassadors are Xavier Garreau, John Bray, and June Park. You guys might all know Xavier through his walkthroughs that he did for Zendoo last year. He focuses on technical content, and we're really excited to have him on the program. Our second one, John Bray, focuses on blockchain and cryptocurrency-based article writing. So I'll be sure to post a link to his content soon. And June Park is a Korean YouTuber brought to us by another ambassador, Ken. And June focuses on making videos about cryptocurrency and blockchain-based projects, including Horizen. This last week, we focused on learning more about our ambassadors and what they hope to accomplish through the program. This week, we're going to be following up on some of the really great ideas that they shared with us while we were getting to know them a little better. And that's my update for the week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, girls, and welcome to our new ambassadors. Next, we have Zane. He will be covering the product and engineering section for Rosario. Welcome, Zane.
Thanks, Angie. Hello, everyone. I have 3 main updates for today. 1, the audit chain, 2, the game chain, and 3, the New York City office. The first 2 updates are related to the build-out of our applications on our sidechain framework. And it's part of our core mission as a product engineering team, which is to cultivate and build the thriving ecosystem of applications on the Horizen platform. So for the first update related to the audit chain, so this is a side chain that's built to cryptographically prove liquidity for a financial institution. And in this case, we're partnering with Celsius, which is a prominent crypto lender. We'll provide real-time audit of reserves while still maintaining the privacy of the institution's users. The project has a total of 3 milestones, and we're concurrently working on the last 2 milestones. We had a successful meeting with the Celsius leadership team, and Lucy briefly mentioned about ZK Audit, which is this product. There's active development work on the cryptographic elements of the last 2 milestones happening now. And just for greater visibility into those 2 milestones, milestone number 2 is the proof of private key knowledge. And what that means is that it's a proof that certifies address ownership, meaning that the financial institution actually owns the addresses of its deposits. Milestone 3, that's the proof of transaction authenticity, meaning that we want to be able to prove that the processed transactions are actually occurring on the native blockchain. So if deposits are happening on the Bitcoin blockchain, it's showing that the transactions actually occurred on the Bitcoin blockchain. Next up is the game chain. It is a sidechain that keeps track of the sale and exchange of in-game digital items. For this particular game chain, we're partnering with a game development house that produces a game that's similar to Escape the Room. It's a strategy game that contains a catalog of digital assets, and these digital assets could include things like bombs or traps that prevent another player from escaping the room or advancing to the next level. We're currently at the stage where we're integrating both the blockchain and the Explorer, and we're in the reg test environment, which is the regression test environment on a private network, the environment before the testnet. Lastly, the New York City office. We have moved in on the New York City side to a small, humble co-working space. We did that on July 2nd in the Manhattan area. And for this space, our selection criteria was around 4 main things: the overall feel and vibe, one that fits in the Horizen Labs spirit; cost effectiveness; 3, attractiveness for new hires and partners; and 4, the accessibility for employees, which include the neighborhood, food, events, and just overall happiness. Special thanks to Liat and Rosario for their expertise and guidance, and Lucy for all the welcoming swag. And we are also hiring. Please check out LinkedIn and our profile on Built-in NYC. Thanks, everyone. Back to you, Angie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zane, for the details and the updates. Now let's continue with Rob for the final part in the Q&A session.
Thank you, Angie. Okay, guys, I have a lot to cover today. Luckily, we have a little bit more time than usual. Okay, so the first thing is congratulations to Alberto, Ulrich, and Daniele for publishing the Darnlin white paper. especially for the crypto geeks out there. This is going to be a good one because you'll get a great deep dive into how we're implementing proofs with Lattice on Zendu. This includes things like Marlin, something I never heard of before called a pasta curve, interestingly coming out of our Italian team. Just joking, guys. And elements of Halo, how we implement them with accumulators in our proof generating system. Also, awesome job to the marketing team publishing a Q2 review blog post. Actually, I saw the email coming through and I figured, okay, awesome. They're kind of going through and giving the updates regularly. But then I opened it and I was just blown away personally by things like seeing just even right up front. So like I really love the Qs right up front of 65,000 lines of code, written in the last quarter, 5 new hires, 25,000 wallet downloads, all of the events, the integrations, the exchange listings, the bounties, the ambassador program with the new Zen evangelists, all of these things happening all the time. And success does accumulate over time. So the things that we're doing are competitive advantages in themselves because you can't just launch a project and replicate these things immediately overnight. All right, so all those things are really good news. Thank you for the update. So Casper's compiled a list of facts for me because what I want to do is give you guys an update on ST-Zen because ST-Zen was this product, a wrapped Zen on the Ethereum network that we were doing a lot of BD and marketing effort on earlier in the year, and then we just subsequently stopped. Okay, so what happened? Why did we stop? Now, there is a good blog post out there by Stakehound, and you can look up some public information of what's going on. But basically what happened was their team became aware of a key management accident with their major custodian. So basically they not lost, but keys involving a substantial amount of ETH, so over 38,000 ETH that were staked for ST-ETH were actually rendered inaccessible by the company. So this prompted just an immediate cessation of anything related to ST-ETH. This did not affect ST-Zen directly, but there were indirect effects, and this is why, as a project, we wanted to make sure we just halted anything that we were doing with respect to promoting, our community to get into ST-Zen. The good news is everything appears to be at least safe on the ST-Zen side from the perspective of you can withdraw your ST-Zen back into Zen one for one, as you were as is absolutely critical for this product to even exist. And let's see what else. So liquidity pools with ST-ETH, which was set up. So we had an ST-ETH to ST-Zen liquidity pool, and that was paused, and that's really where the impact relates to us. So we highly recommend that everyone who contributed to that liquidity pool can now actually withdraw their ST-ETH from the pool, and the pool really is rendered inactive at this point. Again, I do recommend that people read the public information with respect to the key management issue. From my perspective, I'll just give you the summary is, number one, sometimes you work really hard with outside entities to bring products to our marketplace and to our community, and we can't control everything. So the things within our control, we absolutely will make sure that we always do with the highest possible professionalism. And there are sometimes some elements of risk and uncertainty that just manifest that really go beyond what we can do. What's important to me, though, the bottom line is that we are communicating with the community, at least to the extent of information that we have. And this is the full extent of information that we have that is publicly available, because we're receiving publicly available information ourselves. There is going to be there's at least a lawsuit filed in Israel between Stakehound and the custody provider, so that information is public at this point. So there is at least some path towards restitution of funds, through the Stakehound channel for those that got into ST-ETH. But again, ST-Zen appears to be unaffected by this directly, and people can withdraw their ST-Zen back into Zen if they would like to. Rewards, so node staking rewards, if you hold ST-Zen, those node staking rewards have been reinstated. So people, the node income is flowing through again to the ST-Zen holders. So like this project, our team is resilient. We're not going to give up. We're just going to be patient at this point and just make sure we're communicating with you guys of everything that's going on. And if and when there's additional resolution, we will certainly pass that information on to you guys. Okay, so that's that with the ST-Zen, ST-ETH stake count update. More information should be forthcoming as as we find out. We'll relay that to you guys. And thank you, Casperus, for compiling all of those facts for me to brief to you guys today. Okay, so going beyond those updates, I want to tell you guys where I'm focusing myself, because this shows where I think the organization's priorities are going to be tilting in the very near future, where they are now and where they're going to be going in the near future. So one, as we're nearing Zendu release, there's a lot of attention there, right? And Alberto gave you a bunch of updates with respect to that. And there's a bunch of other work that needs to happen to get the release executed successfully. Number two, we're prepping for what's next. And this is the really important thing, because from my perspective, what we choose to focus on next will have much higher marginal impact than really the things that we have been doing in the past, from the sense that before, really, we were focusing on very long lead R&D to production type of stuff. And now we're getting that stuff into production, and we really need to think, how are we going to make it as impactful as possible? And what's next, really? So what are the supporting things, and how are we going to get people to actually use the technology? Let's see. So, and then the other pragmatic thing is scaling the organization, continuing to do that. 1 second. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. All right, I have a little one at home that is enjoying her day. Okay, so going into more detail. So you heard that the updates on getting Zendu to mainnet. We're continuing to make progress on the time of the release. Actual dates will be forthcoming. We're working on those actual dates. Most likely, they will have to be aligned with the next deprecation, which is written into the code. That's important to make sure that the network doesn't have a partition and it's a successful release. The audits are going way better than expected, right? So continuing to just burn through all of the findings from the audits and develop, implement that, and then test everything. And currently, we're scheduling the testnet migration and all of the testing activities that have to happen for this to be a successful release. Everything's on track, and we're going to continue to update you guys every week. Like I said previously, deep diving on tech strategy post Zendu and Lattice. The main objective for me is making sure that our tools are meaningful from day one, and we're not just delivering something that no one's going to care about. Right? This is the big risk for us. We've been working on something for years, and it is a substantial technical delivery, a substantial code delivery. We want to make sure that it actually is a substantial market delivery, that people actually are using the tools that we're bringing to market. Right? So. A quick anecdote. So we have a very Horizen-friendly developer that I was speaking to over the weekend who's really excited about a DeFi app that he's building. And originally, he was choosing to build it in another ecosystem because he said, and I quote, Zendu is really cool tech, but it would take a long time to build what he wants to build using the SDK in its current form. All right, so I'm saying this now, not to present any type of weakness, but to say, unless you face reality, there's no way you're going to win. And the reality that we're facing is we're delivering something that's technically extremely, like a technical breakthrough, but it's something that requires a whole bunch of supporting work if we're going to make this actually useful to the marketplace. We're going to do this in a few different ways. Number one, Horizen Labs is focusing on a single product that can earn revenue immediately. So this is something that by revenue immediately, I mean it's going to be operational, not just a POC, when Zendu goes to mainnet. So the day that we switch Zendu to mainnet, the day it goes live, I want to have a working production level sidechain that is doing something useful. That sidechain, because of the maturity of the project, is going to be ZK audit. So this is where Horizen Labs is focusing its effort on to get this product mature to the point when Zendu goes live, this product will be out there, it will be operational, and it will actually be earning revenue. So there are a number of reasons for why this is important, but a big one is we just need to make sure that what we're delivering to the market is important. And if one thing that we can get out there, we focus effort on one thing that is extremely useful and there's a market for, and BD team is driving clients into, this is a huge success story for us. So we're going to continue down that path. The other path is a major focus, and this is on our tech roadmap for making the SDK more useful ASAP. We've been talking about this for a while. We know we need to do it. We're delivering protocol-based tech. There's a whole bunch of other supporting stuff on top of that we need to mature, and we're working feverishly on it. Things like libraries, tools, docs, a web-based IDE, easy deployment, modules. So like as we're going through the strategy conversations, we're thinking there's this SDK core, which has its own roadmap, but then there's going to be a whole bunch of other modules and things that support specific use cases that we have to deliver to the market. Otherwise, Horizen Labs will be the only company building in the SDK, which is absolutely unacceptable. We need to make sure that we mature this as a product to the point where we're opening up the ecosystem for development. That's the main focus here, and we're kind of looking at a bunch of different ways to make this happen. Okay, so in the meantime, so we're exploring everything. We don't want to take anything for granted, and we're also exploring the idea of would it make sense to have kind of a virtual machine-based smart contracting platform brought to market sooner than we were previously expecting. Right, we're building a snark verifiable sidechain system. That's really the magic of the Zendoo and Lattice implementation of Zendoo. But there are probably a whole bunch of other things that the market could demand very strongly today that might still be worth bringing to market under the context of, say, something like pretty good decentralization. Right, so maybe we don't have the full snark verifiable VM, but maybe there's some other implementation that we could also consider. So this is where we're going now, at least on the strategy deep dive of can we do things like roll out a smart contracting platform that maybe has a private network of certifiers, or maybe it has a restricted certifier protocol. We're not sure yet, but these are the things that we're thinking. Just so you know, we're not being myopic on what we're delivering. We're actually thinking broadly across the potential options of what we can do and trying to be responsive to the market, but still having the long-term strategy in mind, because we think that that's very much a winning long-term strategy. Okay, so not to go too much, speak too much about that because I know we're running out of time. The last thing that I'm focusing on is just how we're doing business. You've heard me mentioning this over the years, and I'm going to continue mentioning it. It's just what we do. And I'm lumping these types of things into like organizational innovations. There was a great article by Michael Spence, a Nobel Prize-winning economist, I read over the weekend about organizational innovations. The premise is there are a handful of superstar firms in the world, and almost every other company could just have enormous gains in their productivity and just the way they do business by mimicking the superstars, right? As simple as it is. And it's not that I've identified Google or some specific firm as a superstar we're going to mimic, but what it means is we need to challenge always the way we do business, make sure we're not overconfident in our assumptions, make sure that we're not underappreciating risk or uncertainty, make sure that everything that we're doing is, we have proper management processes in place, make sure that we're empowering our people, avoiding silos, having efficient comm, aligning vision and values across the organization, et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole bunch of other just management things to make sure that we're constantly improving that, also focusing my time on. Okay, I'll stop here. We can open up to Q&A. I know it's been a lot, guys, but there were some major topics I wanted to discuss.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for contributing with your questions. And thank you, Rob, as well, for the updates. So the first question is, when is the mainnet release date of Zendoo? Will you have a celebration like the halving party?
We will definitely celebrate, and the nature of the celebration is TBD. I don't know if we'll be able to cobble something together in person or if we're going to be doing something virtual. We'll see. And also the date specifically is going to be forthcoming. We've been telling everyone end of Q3, really October was the time that we were thinking for going to mainnet. We'll have a specific date. Most likely it'll just be linked directly to the deprecation, which I believe is end of October, but we'll get the specific date for you guys.
Thank you, Rob. The second question is, what does Zane and his team do? Are they still hiring? I believe Zane mentioned some of this, but if you would like to complement a little bit further.
They are still hiring, very much so. So they are a product engineering team focusing, I would say, on a number of things. And the core of it, though, is the SDK as a product and really thinking about how we get this product to market in a way that's going to be interesting to developers. Not just, cool, the tech is done and release it and we hope that people build on it, but actually be very aggressive on the types of things that we build into the SDK, the types of modules that we focus on to enable a whole bunch of other developer activity within the ecosystem. Number two, also importantly, this is going to be a product team actually using the SDK as a product and building out specific use cases. So looking at different industries, different verticals, and implementing particular products to satisfy them, things like ZK Audit and other products like that going forward will be a major focus of the product engineering team.
Thank you. And the third and final question is, are there any issues on the audit that could delay your release timeline for Senju?
None that I'm aware of. Alberto, anything that we haven't explicitly mentioned thus far, but it seems like everything's even ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I mean, currently all the issues that have been spotted have been almost already fixed. So, I mean, and not relevant. So, not very important things. So, currently we are on track.
Awesome. So those were the top 3 questions. Thank you everyone for contributing with them and for joining us every week. And again, thanks for watching and listening our weekly insider. We hope to see you all next Monday with the latest Horizen updates. Have a great week.